how it makes me feel.
Mm,
It was always that way. Like when I first started lifting, I never really cared too much for how I looked. And if anything, if I did, I probably wouldn't be as strong. Because
Really?
like I'm Filipino. And so growing up, we're very like, the women in our family is very into like women need to be more feminine and like they shouldn't have
the
muscles
Filipino
and
mom,
stuff.
right?
Yeah. My mom didn't really care too much. She's very supportive, but my sisters and my grandma would be like, oh my God, your arms are starting to look like
really?
a man. Like, stop,
Yeah.
blah, 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 all this stuff. And like, if I listened to them, I wouldn't work as hard anymore. So it's like a good thing I didn't listen to them. And I really would just work out my feelings, literally. So like, for me, the way that I work out is like for my feelings, because I've got hurt a lot and stuff in the past. And then I used fitness as an outlet.
Okay. Instead of going like emotional eating and things like that.
Yeah, no.
I'm the same as you.
Yeah.
If I'm stressed with business, relationship issue, it's gym time, it's exercise time.
It's exercise time. Yeah.
If anything, I get more disciplined and more on track than I was
Same.
beforehand. And you're probably just lucky to be like that, would you say?
Yeah.
I don't think you and I've done anything special to be like that. It's kind of just, I was lucky. I started going to the gym when I was 17 and I enjoy it. And 25 years later, I still go to the gym.
Yeah, same. I think that's when I started, 17. Yeah.
Whereas other people like eating candy and sugar and watching TV. So I think sometimes it's self-awareness and being appreciative of having those good habits, but not necessarily working for them so much. You know what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
Sometimes some people just resonate with certain things more than others.
Yeah.
So with you, how do you break away from like, I don't want to say naysayers about your family, but people who kind of like, oh, don't go to the gym, don't get any bigger. Why would you want to do martial arts? You might get punched in the face.
Oh, I get that for sure. A
Yeah,
lot. Like,
especially
why do you want to fight? You're gonna ruin your face. Blah,
how do
blah.
you keep the blinders up and leave all that like out of the side?
I just don't care.
But how do you get to that point? Have you always been like that? Because I mean, that's pretty. Even me personally, you're too big, you're too skinny, you're too lean, you're too this. Someone always wants to contribute what you should or shouldn't do.
I mean, like it does affect you a little, but at the end of the day, it's your life, and you got to do what makes you happy.
Amen.
Because
I love
even
that.
since my family, where like I don't get a lot of negative comments and stuff from my friends or like people like that, but I get it a lot from my own family. So when I hear it from like random people or my friends or like things like that, I'm like, that doesn't hurt me. I hear this from my own blood.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
You think this is gonna hurt me?
Yeah.
I hear this from my sister. You know, like I've been bullied my whole life. They didn't even hurt me either.
And it also shows that you probably got the right friends and around the right environment if you got supporting people. And on fight training, they're always the most supportive people, and they're the most humble people.
They are,
because they got nothing to prove. You ever notice that someone who can fight really well will shake your hand nice and soft. They won't try to intimidate you. They'll look you dead in the eyes. They'll treat you like a human being because they got nothing to prove. It's the ones who are insecure, the ones that try to squeeze the shit out of your hand and roll your hand over and turn away and show the disrespect.
Yeah.
The best fighters I've ever met have been the most nicest, humblest people. And same as bodybuilders, like the biggest guys, they're the chillest guys ever.
They're the nicest.
They just got no ego.
Yeah. Somewhat. I wouldn't say no.
I mean, you got to have an ego to a certain point, and some of them are worse than others.
Especially bodybuilding, you have to have the ego for bodybuilding.
But fighters are definitely a different breed.
Oh yeah,
in a good way.
Some of the nicest people I've met.
Absolutely,
nicest
right?
and craziest.
Yeah, and they obviously love what they do, and they're doing it for themselves. They're not doing it to show off, to prove to anybody, oh, look how well I can fight. The better I got at fighting, the less I got into trouble. That was for sure. Because what you learn is you don't need to get involved. You can walk away. You don't have to prove that to somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I love the fact you're doing everything because I've talked to Donovan about this. If you get in an altercation with somebody, you don't need to get on top of them and throw punches.
Yeah.
You just roll with them and they fell asleep. and that's what you're learning to do, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Or if you're dealing with someone homeless and they're dirty and you don't want to touch their face or get bit or something, which can be very bad, is there's different ways of like just a teep or a front kick, or there's different ways of addressing different situations.
Yeah.
And that's what you're kind of learning
Yeah, I'm
So that's
hoping I
awesome.
don't have to ever deal with something like that.
But it's good. It's
But
good
it's
to
know.
have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's what I find as a father, having a daughter, knowing you can take care of yourself and you can take care of the ones that you love around you.
Mhm.
It's very important
Yeah, for sure.
because you just never know what's coming.